Hello, sweet friend. How are you? Are you tired? Everyone I'm talking to is tired, so it's not weird if you are. Actually, that's what we're going to talk about right now because I want to reiterate, as I am in sessions a lot right now, that it is super dupes normal if everything feels harder right now. Because here's what's going on, right? You're spending a lot of energy just being a human. You were like living your normal life before March of 2020, and that was a lot of work. Let's like be real for a second. That was already taking some energy. Being you. Then what you've been doing for all of 2020 up until today is expanding your consciousness. You're literally increasing the capacity of what you are conscious of. You've been widening the lens of what you're paying attention to on purpose. With the pandemic, with politics, with Black Lives Matter, with whatever else you specifically have going on in your life, which I know is not nothing, you're spending so much more energy on the daily just being conscious. Think about that for one hot second. This is coming up a lot in sessions right now. People are just more tired, or they get tired more easily, or they're more kind of easily reactive. They're more shmoemotional. This is normal because we're working harder to just be every day. So here's my offering to you to deal with this challenge that is not going away. Because sometimes with consciousness, it like gets widened and our attention expands for a second and then we go back into the status quo, right? We return to our normal lives and our normal busyness. And the universe was like, not gonna happen this year, guys, sorry. Ain't nobody gonna go back. Our expansion is the new norm, right? We're stretching and we're gonna stay there until we stretch more. So you're gonna need your energy. This is where my new favorite concept comes in, mandatory love. Backstory. I've been talking about self-care, well, my whole job, but also especially since we went into quarantine. What are you doing for your self-care? How are you taking care of yourself with this like ever-changing reality? And for the past at least month, I've been saying I can't freaking wait till the new word for self-care. Self-care's done. Self-care's got ruined. Self-care just means bubble baths and massages, and it's like an afterthought, and it's optional, and it's like indulgent, and it's a luxury, right? Like that's what self-care means in our lexicon. It's over, and I'm over it. So I've been like half talking, half complaining about like, we need a new word. Ouch. So I decided on the new word today, and I want to share it with you. And it is, well, it's two words, mandatory love. This is what we need to think about instead of self-care. When I was at Yale, the drama school, the grad school for theater people, the tech department had a thing called mandatory fun every year. And it was at the start of the year, the whole tech department would go to Ben Sandler's house, and he had this huge property, and there was like lawn games and food, and it was like very fun and team building and class, connecty, super fun. Also super mandatory, like not dicking around mandatory, like not optional. You don't have a choice. You have to come to this day or like you can't come to our school. And it was really intense because it sounded like such a fun kind of like probably optional thing. And the fact that it was mandatory made it have the impact that it did. So this is why we're stealing this concept. Mandatory love. Self-care's out, mandatory love is in. Because care also can imply that like something needs fixing. Like you don't need to care for something until it like is wounded or something. And love, you need all the time. And that's all this self-care stuff is that we're talking about, right? How can you show yourself love? How can you care for yourself? Constantly replenishing your depleted resources so you don't burn out and stop being able to pursue the amazing goals that you are. mandatory love. So this is your homework, buddy boo. Think about what your mandatory love regiment is right now. And like, not for the rest of your entire life, but like right now, like the rest of June right now. What needs to be mandatory for you to replenish your resources? Do you need to prioritize sleep? Does that have to be mandatory? Do you need to prioritize eating healthy food? Do you need to prioritize being in nature and being quiet for like 2 minutes a day? Whatever. You don't have to think about it as a routine. You don't have to think about it as like just meditation, but it's mandatory. So you have to think about it at all. I heart you. Stay resourced. Keep fighting the good fight. See you soon.